Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for participating. I know it was a little short notice, but talking with the district service managers, and they felt like it's good timing to maybe talk about BDCs on the service side and how we can further enhance, revenue generating opportunities. Those who are just coming in, welcome aboard. And again, thank you so much for participating. We really do appreciate it. So the session is being recorded, and as those of you who've been on before, I'll be sending you those just coming in, welcome aboard. We're just getting started. Session is being recorded. I will send a YouTube copy out later today for your use, hopefully in training. It'll be a question and answer session at the end, and you can use the chat function during the presentation. I keep an eye on that as we're going forward. Fire any questions away. Okay, so this is actually the first ever Zone 4114 Service BDC Tips and Tools. It's the May 2018 version, and hope to do this every month. We're going to see, what's going on in terms of incentives out there to draw customers into your departments, and ideas and innovations we can use to generate traffic. So the bottom line is I want to help you try to get your BDC operations to take full advantage of monthly and ongoing revenue generating opportunities. I'm going to look at the 3 swim lanes, which I know I see some names I've been working with quite a while. That's kind of the foundation of what I work on, that kind of theory, if you will. I'm going to look at service BDC activities. What really entails like a job description. What should a service BDC be doing? GM manifest, we'll look at what's going on, opportunities GM providing lists to you of people who are likely prospects for different opportunities. We're going to look at the Lucky 7 $25 gas card that's out there, and mention the BDC support app. I've been promoting that. I've gotten to know the gentleman who's overseeing the development of that. Every month it gets a little stronger, so I just want to walk you through that, make sure you're aware it's out there, and what kind of resources you got available. Okay, so as always, I'll begin with this, what I call the 3 swim lanes. And it certainly does. I presented at a service and parts club last week, or actually earlier this week. And, it doesn't matter to me, obviously, if you have a formal BDC or not. The question is, do you have BDC processes in place in your service department? And those begin with somebody dedicated to handling inbound leads. Obviously, dealer maintenance notification, internet requests, and of course, phone leads and those types of things. Is somebody dedicated to that and really assertively responding and trying to attract the customer to the dealership. Secondly, are the GM manifests. As you know, you got a variety of opportunities that are out there. I'm going to walk through the entire scope of those manifests today and just highlight a couple. I'm going to really drill down into the BDC hot list. I was in a dealer, I think last week, and very capable service director, and they were printing the raw manifest. They weren't sorting, weren't filtering out the older customers, and they described it to me as just chaos. But it's not chaos. It's actually quite a nice list. It could be anywhere from 5 or 6 names every 2 weeks to 20 to 30, and they generally provide several, revenue opportunities, spends right now, if you will. So we'll go through all of those. And then finally, how assertive are you in proactive campaigns, self-generated outbound campaigns, digging into your lists, digging into your databases, and creating your own list. So we'll take a look at that too. Okay, so what does a service BDC do? What does a service BDC look like? I mean, this isn't the end all and the be all. I harvested some of this from Proactive Dealer Solutions using some of our terminology, but certainly, appointment confirmations. And as you know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, as the saying goes, but there's so many ways to do this. Obviously, the best way is, in addition to anything electronic you've got going, or text, is to make the call and affirmatively follow up. I had a medical appointment this morning, a routine. I'm a retired Air Force. I live over near Dover Air Force Base. We have the good fortune of having a clinic nearby, and I went in for my semi-annual physical, And yesterday I got in from a conference in DC, and I got a text message reminding me that I have, this appointment this morning. It was great. And then once a customer wants to come in and spend money, and something happens where they don't show, we obviously have to follow up, make sure we don't lose them to Jiffy Lube or Midas down the street. Make sure it's going on the DM, maintenance notification, internet requests, as I mentioned earlier, decline services follow up. That's a huge spend typically. Inactive customers, defective customers who may have defected, we can find them in Service Smarts online or recommended maintenance calls. The hot list, as I mentioned, there's an OnStar reactivation manifest, which I'll touch on, and again, developing those proactive outbound campaigns. So that's kind of a typical outline of a BDC. You can almost build a service business development representative job description from that. And the key thing here is your where you put your points on the board is what we call the red zone, right up front, confirming those appointments and then following up on the no-shows. That's where the real rubber meets the road. Okay, so let's shift and take a look at some manifests that are available to you. A couple of comments on that before I do. I realize, I'm in dealerships virtually every day, and I realize that I have a pretty hard focus on some things where I know you have, looking at the names, I see some of you probably oversee sales and service, some are just service, whatever, but I know you have a lot of different things coming at you, various passwords, various processes to go, but don't give up on these manifests. The key to me is, like, if you look at this particular extract that I pulled from a dealership, to the right here, they have 1,064 records on the Lucky 7. Now, you might look at that and go, oh my God, that's overwhelming. There's a way usually to sort these and prioritize these and just work as many as you can. But to avoid frustration and actually to avoid failure, you should obviously be going after the lowest hanging fruit, the highest percentage opportunities that are sitting out there for us to work. So let's kind of peek through, graze through. So we have now this month they've added the Lucky 7 Service Conquest Program. So they've tied that into the IVCs. The incentive is there are $10 instant value certificates. The dealers earn certificates based on their percentage of the 2017 total RO count for CCA. Requirements: VINs that have not been in for service in 13 plus months. RO must be for a customer paid service greater than $100. Dealerships must complete a multi-point inspection at MPVI. All parts on the RO must be GM or AC Delco parts. Dealerships can stack up to 3 certificates for one customer, $30. So this is a great opportunity, but it's not an inadvertent opportunity. It's not a passive opportunity. We have to dig in and reach out and find these customers. And the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to go into Service Smarts, go into your inactive list, and pull these customers who haven't been in for 13 months and greater. You're not going to lure them in saying, come on in and spend $100, but if you have a spring maintenance special on, we got some tire sales going on, or just simply we miss you, like to invite you back and we'll give you a 10% off an oil change or whatever. You guys, you ladies and gentlemen know how to do that. The point is to get these folks in, and in the event that once they're in, they do have $100 spend or greater, then you got a great opportunity to give them a $10, $20, or $30 IVC to offset the cost. What a great way to reinforce the experience at your dealership. And then, hopefully you get them back. Stay in touch and you get them to come back. The OnStar Reactivation May Dealer Manifest, so that's coming out every month. And most of you have an active OnStar rep who are now working with activations in the sales department and reactivations in your service department. And that's great. When we get our appointments, we check in Workbench, or however you do it, we check to see if the vehicle's OnStar equipped and if it's activated. If not, we hopefully have an approach as they come through for the normal service visit. It's free of charge to get them activated. There's 1 free month now, and there's some other additional opportunities based on how many years, the year of the vehicle. I think it's 11 to 14 or something like that. It's 2 years basic, and I think 14, 15, 16, something like that gets 5 5 years actually of the inactive. So check, the OnStar reps can help you with that. But the bottom line is, in addition to that, you get this OnStar manifest. And what it does is identifies customers who are no longer active and supports OnStar's program to remarket to inactive customers 11 to current and offer them a 1-month trial subscription to OnStar's safety and security feature and to their connected services, including 3 gigabytes of data. So again, depending on the year of the vehicle, they'll get a month free and 2 years of the basic, or a month free and 5 years of the basic. Pretty cool. And there's a $15 spiff for the advisor or whoever does the activation. The key here is to get as many vehicles as possible to select your dealership as the dealer of preference. Then as dealer maintenance notifications come up, the most frequent and common one obviously is the oil life less than 20%. So it's a great opportunity to reach out, and maintain a steady list of customers whose vehicles are talking to the dealership. And if you click on view documents, I won't read this to you, but there's a script in there that you can use, and it kind of helps with the call. Inviting them in cold, I don't know, it's a tricky deal, but who knows? If you know the customer, if they live in the area, if you could let them know if you're driving by, stop in, we'd like to get you activated or reactivated, or maybe you can invite them in again, offering the spring special or come in for an oil change, whatever the case is. And as you'll see on the hot list in a minute, it's a great combination when they have that notification of an oil change and they have a free unused maintenance. Probably not going to happen with the older vehicles, but maybe some of the new ones, that's a possibility. So continuing on, the Takata airbag recall still goes on. I think that's taken a lot longer than anticipated, but if we can get our BDCs to work that, that would be a huge thing to minimize that number. And there is, I believe there's a dealership spiff that goes along with that. There's a car care promotion out there. Basically, that targets VINs 4 to 14 years old who have been into your dealership within the last 36, optional 48 months for service. Use this manifest to follow up these customers and reestablish their relationship with your dealership. So that's a great opportunity right there. The CPO owner care manifest. Many of your certified pre-owned owners are not taking advantage of owner care. Your CPO manifest contains the records of your CPO owners who bought after September 1st, 2016, but have not visited your dealership in the last 6 months to take advantage of their owner care benefits. So that's a really great thing right there. Again, another opportunity to work in the Service BDC. Service BDC hot list. I'm going to take a little time here. I want to walk through this a little bit slowly. I'm just so passionate about this. It's really proven to be a very strong incremental way to generate business. Now, the key to it is to have the strong combination of assertively working the OnStar processes as folks come through the service lane to get them to reactivate and to work the manifest. And now, obviously, there's an increased emphasis on activating new vehicles, and that'll pay dividends down the road for you. So the bottom line is we need to get as many vehicles as possible that are connected to your dealership, and as needs arise, you're notified and you can draw them in to get some work done. Okay, so when you click on, going back here, you click on that Service BDC list. You go in here. First thing I'd encourage you to do is click on View Documents. Go in there, so there's a really helpful document that comes about, and you'll have this look right here. Just click on View, and then you'll get this right here, and it gives a really good explanation of the Service BDC hot list. It came out a few years ago. We've been working it, and it's real good, but I do know that I think we've also kind of on some level or in certain dealerships maybe overlooked or neglected this a little bit and haven't managed it properly. So I'm trying to encourage, inspire dealers to work this. It comes out every 2 weeks. And basically the concept is, as it says there, it consolidates multiple data points into one list to highlight those customers who are most likely to service at your dealership. It's great for BDCs. If you look at the elements below, so it's the key things are unused free maintenance events, oil life less than at or below 20%, open recalls, very important. You can see the mileage, you can see when it was added to the list, any maintenance notifications, declined service is really strong. We need to fix that. It's no longer the 3 on us qualifier. It's now a 1 month, but you get the deal. There's a scoring system. This helps you prioritize. This is strictly for BDCs to prioritize who are the most likely customers to come in and take advantage of any of these offers that are out there. So when they have a free maintenance available, 6-point value, oil life down less than 20%, they get 4. Declined service, they get 2, and an open recall, they get 1. Okay, so that's a pretty cool thing, and those are some sample combinations at the to the right bottom there. So obviously what I'm going to demonstrate in a minute as I walk through the hot list is how to pull the list. If you've been working it actively, let's isolate the most, and it just updated, by the way. There's a brand new list in there right now, so you can go in right now. If you haven't been working it, you can go back a few cycles, but if you have, just filter out new to manifest and get working them, and prioritize it, sort it to the highest values. Okay, and this is again the inclusion elements: VINs with 4, unused free maintenance events, oil life monitor, the things that I just mentioned are all there. And if you're enrolled in CSSR, you will get a hot list, and again it replenishes every 2 weeks. And I noticed it's dated May 10th, but I think it actually just showed either late last night or this morning. So we've got a fresh set of names. Okay, so let's start. Again, like I said, I want to zoom in on the hot list a little bit here. Let's start by looking at how to pull the data. So earlier I had you pull the documents. Now what I want you to do is the first thing as you go in here is click on CSV. Don't do the Excel and don't do the PDF. Click on the CSV. Those of you who work with me a lot on either sales or service, it's just a better format. It's cleaner. The original Excel version has a colored outline and some additional columns and hidden columns, and it gets a little messy. So CSV is the cleanest way to do it. So pull that, click on that. You'll get this banner right here. Click open the CSV format manifest, and that's an upper left-hand view. It's a typical spreadsheet as it looks. So now it's on your desktop, and now it's time to save and name the file. So you click on File, and then Save As. Click on Computer. You may be able to put this even in the service department, possibly in your CRM, however you want to do it. I'd suggest that if you can actively build this process and work it, set up a file on your desktop. Just call it Service Hot Lists, and then within each one, just type the months, perhaps, January, February, March, April, May, yada, yada, yada. And you can today, click on Computer, change the file name. You could put, today could be May 11, 2018 Service Hot List. And then it's important at this point to flip it from the CSV to Excel. So this is where you save it to the Excel workbook. Now you got a real clean spreadsheet with a good name, and it's filed accordingly. Now let's look how to organize that data. So you pulled this pretty massive spreadsheet. You've pulled it. I'm going to advocate using what's called the left to right technique. I'm going to plan to do mini Excel workshops from time to time. I just did one last month. I'll do it again soon. But in the meantime, if you have skills at this, so save. Step 1, we say maintain the original manifest data in the far left tab. I advocate this with anything that we're doing. Just keep that pure data intact. Step 2, copy that original data from tab 1 to tab 2 and label it master. And what we're going to do here is slice, dice, filter, and sort from there to get to that workable campaign. And then step 3 of organizing the data with the left to right technique, delete all rows and columns in tab 2, the master copy that you do not need to build a campaign. I have people who are not doing a hard mailer. They whack out everything. They get that name, they get down to phone and email, year and model, and any relevant data that they need to sort and prioritize. As I mentioned, it's big. If you look, you've got a description. You got a couple of rows here that are informational and administrative. You could look at them and then whack them. Just highlight it and hit delete. Go from there. And then there's columns. I mean, you look at this stuff and it continues to go on. You can get rid of a lot of those columns. So here's just an example of what I did to shorten it up, and that's the depth of it right there. I even left in the mailing address, keep the VIN if you need. Maybe there's a maintenance message, anything that might be of value to you. Certainly the phone and email and the name and the vehicle are critical. Okay, so continuing to organize using a left to right technique. So I just say use one filter. When you go in there, it's called new to manifest. Just click on that, drop it down, and as you see here, you can clear all and then select yes. So if you into the one that just came out, let's say last night, you could bring it up, whack the columns you don't need, and then just nail it down and go into the filter and go new to manifest. Copy the filtered information over, and you could call it new to manifest, or maybe I think some folks do a continuation, but you could just label it as the May 11th manifest, something like that. May 11 hot list. Okay, continuing. Now use the sorting function. Okay, you do that right up at the top. You can see right where you did it. You can either get it. This is at the top left, and this is over to the top right. There's two ways to access it, but click data and then click sort. And then at this point, add a level, and I would say add point level and go largest to smallest and go from there. And there you go. There's a final version of your Chevy BDC Hot Manifest. That's a workable tool right now. And if you'll notice, you've got your oil life. You can see if they need an oil change. That's an OnStar activated vehicle that's communicating with your dealership. How many recalls, if there are any, do they need to take care of? Do they have any declined services? That's pretty good stuff right there too. And then the point value. So what I did here on this fictional one, Mr. Dangerfield, Mr. Rodney Dangerfield, he needs a he's got oil change need. He's got a freebie, and we got 10 points. Let's get him in there. It's a beautiful assumptive close. The list goes on. Okay, continuing. In the manifest area, so you can see we've already highlighted 6 key manifests on the service side. You've also got a service leads close rate customer list, February. You've got ignition switch recall, and there's one laying around from January, service leads close rate if you hadn't worked that one earlier. There's a delay on those because there's a several months. I think they wait 90 days in terms of keeping a lead alive. So that's another great list to take a look at. All right. How do you reach out to them? Obviously, we want to call them, but I think some BDCs might overlook the importance of the voice message. Very important that you have a compelling message, making it appealing for them to call back or letting them know you have important information about the vehicle and to call you at their earliest opportunity. Don't forget the engaging emails. Those always help out. Without a doubt. Yeah, hi Renee. Yep, I definitely see you. You're in there. It's good to have you join us. I got your chat message. And then also a concise text message if you can. I know sometimes you have to have customers have to opt in depending on the state you live in, but don't overlook the possibility of a text message. And maybe a video. This would be more, I think, for your big account. Now I'm not just talking about the hot list here. I'm talking about any campaign. I mentioned, the Lucky 7 piece with the instant value certificates. They're not going to come out of the woods. We have to dig in a Service Smarts, as I mentioned, get that inactive list, pull it up. Might not be a bad idea to stand out in front of your service department, have a sharp-looking, articulate person from your service department, one of your better advisors, texts yourself as the BDC, stand out front and invite them in there. A good 15-second, 20, 25, 30-second video, giving a good, appealing look of the dealership, nice and clean and sharp and professional looking, and inviting them in and let them know we have some great offers. Just another way to do it, thinking out of the box. Now, don't forget Facebook. I was at a meeting for a couple of days with my General Motors colleagues, and we got a presentation on Facebook Business. And I've sent this out before, probably more on the sales side, but it's relevant on both the sales and the service sides. Facebook Business. There's the link, and I'm going to send this to you. When I send the video of this session, I will include information about Facebook and any other related information that goes with it. But it's really helpful. You click on that link, and they actually have little videos to show you how to do it. You can basically pull a list from Service Smarts, clean it up, drop it in, and set up a budget with Facebook, and you can kind of go from there. It's very, very cool. Absolutely cool. So a couple other things on that note. Yeah. So this is I just did screenshots. When you click on that link, this is what you see. Well, the first thing, it gives you instructions or background on how to target Facebook ads to people on your contact list. And I see several store-wide, dealer-wide BDC managers. Obviously, we can do this with our playbook lists and our equity mining lists and so on for the sales side. So you have a contact list. You know who you want to reach out to. They'll match. Facebook will take it. They incorporate the data. They'll match it to the person, and on their news feed, they will see blank Chevrolet. Now, you're not going to go out, like, for instance, on the IBCs. We're not going to directly target the IBCs, but we're going to, could say, come up with a great thing that's going on at your dealership. Again, great tire sales right now, spring care, whatever it is, a special on oil change, tire rotation. Always mention the free multi-point vehicle inspection, those kinds of things. But they see that, just get that top of mind awareness to customers that you're trying to target. This, in conjunction with an email from you and a phone call from you, hopefully eventually they wake up and come into the greatest service department in the history of service departments, yours. It'll talk about creating your audience, how to pull it. If you see right there, how to pull it, how to save it. Go to the audiences tab. It's really, really simple to use. It really is. And then using your customer audience, kind of, from there, they'll give you all kinds of ways to do this. And you set a budget and you place your order, and they'll work from there. Okay. So Lucky 7 $25 gas card to bring this home. So right now it's there's a great opportunity out there right now. $25 Exxon Mobil gas card with any Dexus One or Mobil One oil change. The target audience, 06 to 15 customers who have not been in for service 13 plus months. To redeem their gas card, they must go to my certified service rebates.com gas card, and stackable with an oil change rebate. There's dealer support materials out there, manifest list. I think you can get into, again, Service Smarts and pull. That's pretty easy to sort and to filter and sort those folks. There's a BDC script, there's a bulletin available, and materials on Global Connect. And so anyway, that's that Lucky 7 $25 gas card. I'd really encourage you to get your BDCs busy and get working on that. It's another great opportunity to get folks into your house. Finally, just an informative piece, the BDC support app. If you're not aware of it, you go into Global Connect, go to sales, you'll see BDC support, click on it, and you'll get this look right here. It's structured into 4 areas: people, process, technology, metrics, and technology. Let's review that. I was kind of impressed with those arrows. Let's go back one more time and review. I can feel the excitement in the air. People, process, metrics, and technology. You got to love the arrow program. Not bad for a 64-year-old man. And this is what each looks like as you go through people, and it gives you all information about hiring, agents, job descriptions, recruiting, accountability. The list goes on. Plenty of solid information for you to pick and choose from. Process, generating leads, managing them, digital marketing. There's videos in there, social media. Again, really, really helpful stuff. The metrics piece, phone analytics is in there, KPIs, again, best practice videos, and then the technology side of the leads piece, the digital marketing, dealer maintenance notification, so on and so forth. Okay, what questions do we have? Anybody hit? You can hit #6. Let me try this. We have a kind of a smaller audience. This might not be too catastrophic. Let's see what happens here. I think I've got everybody unmuted. Are there any questions at all about anything, like this kind of basic tips and tools session we just completed? Anybody have any questions? You can, again, use that chat function. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't miss anything rather. Cool. Okay, any questions? No questions. Going once. Going twice. Going three times. Okay, well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'll send you a YouTube version of this. Have a great day and go out there and let's generate some business in those service departments, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at my next dealership visit. Look forward to it.